The day trader calendar, I want to walk you through how to use this and why it's so important. And no worries, I'm not going to talk in theory. At the end of this, I will show you a real life trade where I forgot about it and it almost absolutely destroyed me. And you'll see how important this tool is because it can really catch you with your pants down, and we don't want to have that. So what is the day trader calendar? Well, in all actuality, it's called the economic calendar. And the economic calendar shows you a list of events and two very important things about these. First off, what day is this event? And second, what time? And you need to have both of these in the back of your mind whenever you're entering the day as a day trader, because a good trade plan has certain criteria. And the criteria is, let's know as much about our surroundings as we can. Now, obviously you can't know everything, but the things that you can know, you better know, and that's what this calendar is helping us with. So let's first start off with, how do you find it and how does it work? So I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence because I think everybody knows how to use Google, but it's really this simple. So economic calendar, look, it populates right there, click on that, and let's just go to Market Watch here. And right here we have what an economic calendar is all about. You have a list of events and their times. So right now, actually going into, I'm doing this on a Saturday, so going into Monday, nothing scheduled. That's a pretty big rarity. So usually there's at least something. So here's Tuesday, again, a pretty big rarity. There's only one thing at 6 a.m. and I'm not even sure what that is. But then you can see Wednesday, that's where things really start to take place. You have 4 different things at 8:30 a.m., then you have some more in the afternoon. So this all now leads to a question of, okay, Clay, I get it, you have all these events and you have all these times. Are you telling me that I'm supposed to pay attention to every single one? In fact, one of them you said, I don't even know what that is. So what exactly is going on here? I get the impression that maybe I'm not supposed to know what everything is, but maybe some things. So in other words, what am I supposed to pay attention to? Are there certain times that are better than others? Hopefully that's where your thought process was, because that's what I want to talk about now. And right off the get-go, the good news is you don't have to know what every little single line item is. You don't need to go the history of it, what they're reporting, or anything like that. But you do need to do a little bit of reading in the sense of read some headlines. Do not think that reading means, hey, you know what, I got to read research reports and I got to read all these economic surveys. No, not that type of reading.
Stop it. Stop reading.
Again, just open up your phone, scroll through some headlines, get to know what people are talking about. Right now, as of the recording of this video, interest rates. People always talking about interest rates, always in the headlines. So that's one of those economic reports that you know the market is going to care about and that you as a day trader needs to care about. But another way to go about this is just, yes, to read, but join a community, whether that's my community or somebody else's community. Being a part of other traders and surrounded by other quality traders, that's going to allow you to have the best, bet of, okay, does this one really matter? Because when you can ask people, especially when they're more experienced, that is going to be another great way to figure out, okay, which one of these am I supposed to be paying attention to? And then what about the time? Well, this is where things get, I don't want to say complicated, but you got to have a couple considerations. If you are a futures trader or you're a stock trader and you are doing stuff pre-market, well then 8:30 a.m., very, very important. As you already saw right here, 8:30 a.m., we have 4 announcements, and I can tell you right now, these are important ones. The Consumer Price Index, the CPI, the Core CPI. These are very, very important ones. Again, how do I know that? Just by going over the headlines and so on and so forth, like I just talked about. So 8:30 a.m., the one that matters for futures traders and stock traders, assuming you trade pre-market. Now, if you are just a stock trader and you're doing normal market hours, and I'm talking in Eastern time, so from 9:30 a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m., then the one that you're definitely going to always want to assume something's going on at is 10 a.m., which ironically enough, there are no 10 a.m.s until, there we go, Friday, until the end of the week. 10 a.m., there is an announcement, just because I feel silly. There we go. So there's another 10 a.m. There's a 10 a.m. There we go. That feels more normal here. And then Friday, there's another 10 a.m. and 2 at 10 a.m. And in the trade that I'm about to show you here in a little bit, that is one of those 10 a.m. type trades. So I would highly recommend you just develop the habit of, even if there's nothing, just always assume that there's something at 10 a.m. and for you just to not be in the trade. That way, if you forget, at least you're not going to be caught off guard and potentially end up in a very bad situation. And then the other time that can be very, very tricky to remember, and it's kind of irritating because it's kind of random seemingly, is 9:45 a.m. So right here, you can see it's not very common, and I think that's what makes it tricky. Where did I saw a 9:45. There we go. So Friday, June 21st, 9:45, 2 items. Now what this stuff is doesn't really matter. I'm not quite sure. But I've learned that those 9:41 or 9:45 a.m. ones, even if I don't know what they are, to just assume, don't even risk it. Don't be in the trade, because all it takes is for 1 or 2 candles to get all screwy and your trades can just, it's just a nasty situation. And like I said, 9:40 a.m. I would say is the hardest one because it doesn't happen too often, as you saw. But usually the market does care for some bizarre reason why they put it at 9:45. I don't know, but those would be the main ones. Is 8:30 a.m. for you futures and pre-market traders, and then for you stock traders during normal hours, 10 a.m. and 9:45. And then another one that I'll just mention in brief, in passing, is 2 p.m. That's when Federal Reserve usually announces things, but those are very few and far between. But the ones that I would say apply on the daily basis, 8:30 a.m. and 10 a.m. And then on the pretty sporadic basis, that 9:45 a.m. one. So now let's take a look at why all this matters. Maybe you don't really believe me. Maybe you think that I'm just being a little bit overly dramatic. Fair enough. I hope to convince you here with this. If you want to see this full video, you can find it on the YouTube channel. You can just call it a rookie mistake. And I named it that because I know better. I know I should be checking that economic calendar, the day trader calendar, and I didn't. Now, I'm not going to get into all the details of this trade because they're all a side point, but just as a quick little, I'm trading options. So if you're like, what am I looking at? Doesn't really matter, but just as FYI, I'm trading options. The key dynamic here is what happens right at 10 a.m. So right now I'm actually in a trade. I'm about to get out and I do get out right there. So I got out for a $10 gain, but the reason I got out was because over here, the level 2s, depending on how new you are, those are called level 2s, they're acting very, very bizarre. Wasn't quite sure why they were acting bizarre, but they were acting bizarre. And as a form of encouragement, that's something that will develop for all of you. The more you watch this stuff, the more you are involved with it, you do develop those gut instincts. And little did I know that my gut instincts were telling me, hey, moron, the reason why things don't look good is, well, because 10 a.m. is in 20 seconds. And you can see that because I got out at 9:59:40. So in 20 seconds was going to be 10 a.m. And yeah, things happen at 10 a.m. So it is now 10 a.m. and look at that good size green candle. And one note, I had a put before I got out, and very quick options lesson here. If you have a put contract, you want to see red candles. You want to see prices going down, because if prices go down, if you get those red candles, then that means you are going to make money with the put option. So in other words, green candles, especially big green candles, mean you would be losing money with the put option. So keep that in mind. From my vantage point, green candles are not good. And the funny part here is that, yeah, this is a good sized green candle, but you haven't seen anything yet. The party is just getting started. So it's been 10 a.m. and it just turned 10 a.m., but that predictably, you would have known, okay, price is probably gonna get pretty crazy here at 10 a.m. And look at that. The price continues to get higher and higher. That candle continues to go higher and higher. And that is a very, very potentially painful situation because I did not check the day trader calendar. I just completely forgot. And I had no idea that it was almost 10 a.m. and that this was about to happen. And as you see here, that candle just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So maybe this whole time you thought I've been exaggerating. Maybe you haven't believed me.
Do you believe me yet?
And yeah, look at it, still going higher and higher. So there you have it, could have been absolutely crushed. And that was, I should have noted, a 1 minute candle. So that huge move, that was all occurring at 10 a.m. within 60 seconds. So that's how fast things can go. That's how spicy that price action can get. But had I lost money, I have zero excuses. That information was available to me, that there was gonna be spicy action, and at what day and at what time, which is why this calendar is definitely a must use. So if you have any more questions on it, be sure, let me know down in the comment section, reach out to me, and I can try to provide more clarity. If you have any more ideas for videos like this, then let me know. But yes, get out. Wow, I'm losing my words over just how nasty that move was, but get out there and definitely use that economic calendar, and it'll definitely come in value. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.